Okay, so what we're doing today is we're going to change the wire on one of these Lincoln machines that we've got here. So we're changing the flux core side, which is the right hand side of the machine when you're facing it. We're going to take that roll off, replace it with a roll of metal core. And so basically all we need to do, there's a couple things. First off, we're going to cut this wire off, and as we get it cut off, we're going to make sure that we hang on to the wire that's on the spool side, not the wire that's on the roll side. Spool side, when we cut that loose, we want to be hanging on to this end of the wire so it doesn't unroll that spool on us and waste our whole roll of wire. Take that roll, wind it back through there may be if you have a spool like this one, you've got those spokes on it. The other spool types, the wood spools, you'll have a hole that it'll go through. Wind it back through that and ensure that it doesn't come apart on you. From there, we're going to we push our button on here. This releases it off our spindle. And our spindle will then come off, or our roll will come off. We'll take the roll off, we'll set it aside. Be careful because we're going to reuse that roll later. Here's our empty roll. Basically in the middle of that roll you see this little switch here. That turns in or out to adjust our brake tension on this roll. So we're going to take this roll of metal core I've got here, and we're going to set it up on there. We want to make sure that when we set this roll up on there, that the wire comes off the top of the roll down into our feed rolls. So take this, we'll set it up on here now. We got it set on there. There's a hole in the back of here that a little locator plug goes into, just so that our roll stays tight. Now we take our little center disc that locks our roll on there, and we lock it in place. With that locked in place, you can see this silver part pops back out. We're locked in. That rolls on there now. A little bit slack when I look at that, how it rolls. Shouldn't quite roll that freely. So I want to actually tension my brake a little. By turning it in, I tension the brake. Now it doesn't spin quite as much. We need a little tension on there just to keep the wire tight on our roll. We spin it around to where our wire is here, and we get it ready to come on. Next thing we want to do, we want to grab onto this is our drive rolls. So we have 4 drive rolls. We pull that down. We can see our drive rolls in here. 2 here, 2 here. Now, with this undone, these drive rolls are loose. There's no tension left on them. I want to come over here, take off my tip on my flux core gun, unscrew it. When I get that tip off, I'm going to unscrew this tip as well. Unscrewing that tip. There it is, it's out of there. Now what I want to do is give this wire a pull with my MIG wire pliers. Pull that wire out of there, and we'll snip this wire off. Pull our tip off and we keep our tip. From there, we grab the excess flux core wire and we pull it out of the gun. Once it's pulled out of the gun, wind that up, twist it up so it doesn't come unraveled on you, and we'll throw that away into our metal bin out back. With that done, we close our rolls and we close up our tension. Now we're going to take our wire out of here, our metal core wire, off this. We unspool a little bit of it, grab onto it, hang on to the roll side. Now we've got that. Don't let it go. We feed it into the back side of here. Right in there, we feed it. We push it up against the tension drive rolls, and we hold it like that. And now we go to this drive roll feature here on the machine, and we push that through. It'll pull that wire in. It feeds that wire. We allow that wire to feed through our gun until we see it come out of our gun here. We just use this switch on the side of the machine, and that way we don't dispense a bunch of gas while we're doing this. You can feel that wire coming through the liner inside this gun. There it is there. Run some excess out. We can also see that when we stopped our drive rolls, it didn't unroll off the roll. We had good tension on it. So with that done, now we stick our tip back on, slide it over top, screw the tip in on that 045 side. Give it a snug. It doesn't have to be super tight, just snug that it doesn't come undone on you. And then of course we put our gas nozzle back on. And now we clip off our wire. About that 3/8 to 3/4 inch stick out. From there, we're ready to go. Our drive rolls are good, we're tensioned. We've refed our gun. This is on here, wire off the top. Everything's set to go. All we need to do now is set it for metal core in our settings, and that's on our chart up on the wall, and we're good to go. So keep this in mind, because you'll be testing on it in the future. That's it.